Alberta's legislature is temporarily suspending its spring session. Opposition leader Rachel Notley is calling the decision cowardly and says the premier is missing in action. But the House leader for the United Conservative Party says the move is necessary amid soaring COVID cases. The province is reporting 1,731 new cases today. It's the first time numbers dipped below 2,000 in 3 days, but testing was also down. An additional 2 people are in hospital, bringing the total number to 648. 155 of them are in ICU. Premier Jason Kenney is condemning a 2-day anti-lockdown event in rural Alberta that has defied health orders. The No More Lockdowns rodeo rally took place in the community of Bowden. Now, the event drew large numbers of people opposed to further restrictions. CBC's Aaron Collins has more.
Cases of COVID-19 are surging in Alberta. The province continues to lead the country in per capita new infections. But in this province, it's also rodeo day. Hundreds of people showed up to this event near Bowden, Alberta today. No masks, no social distancing, no sense that this might be dangerous from those that came.
My husband has an autoimmune disease. We've never done masking or anything. And if this was as serious as they say it is, he'd be dead 6 times over, and I would have caught something by now.
Of course, none of this is actually allowed in Alberta. There's a public health order limiting the size of outdoor public gatherings. This weekend saw anti-mask rallies across the province. Some churches also protested attendance limits. Throughout it all, there's been little enforcement of those rules, a strategy some believe needs to change.
There needs to be a crackdown, and this cannot be tolerated if we're to be successful.
Meanwhile, COVID cases continue to spike. Hospitalizations are rising, putting pressure on the province's healthcare system. In Calgary, the World Curling Championships was suspended after an outbreak. The relentless spread of COVID variants prompting the government to suspend the spring sitting of the legislature too. Add it all up, and some frontline workers are calling for tighter restrictions.
I know everyone hates the L word, the lockdowns, but you just don't have very many options left when you have this degree of community transmission.
Premier Jason Kenney wants to avoid a lockdown. Instead, he's urged people to stay home, to follow public health orders. But clearly some Albertans just aren't listening. The question now is whether the Premier will do anything more to make them. Aaron Collins, CBC News, near Bowden, Alberta.